Hello everybody, my name is Geek, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, but I'm here and I'm back, and today welcome to the first episode of the Geek Podcast. The channel is going to from now on be running on a once a month. I will be uploading one of these big collection of information podcasts, and then on the other hand I plan on doing two smaller videos throughout the month to kind of compensate in between there. I do plan on covering, earlier in the month, I'm going to be covering Pokemon's 2016 and 2018 events, the year of mythical Pokemon and the year of legendary Pokemon, and then after the Presidents, I'm going to be doing a breakdown of that event to talk about what they revealed and what's going to happen. So, we're going to get into it and talk about basically everything that you can see here. So let's start with the two smaller stories before we get into the three larger. First of all, Microsoft, in a stunningly brave thing for them, has decided they are going to stand down, or at the very least, not put as much emphasis into AI, which for anyone who's a Xbox fan, or hell, anyone who's seen just how terrible Windows 11 and AI has been, can take a sigh of relief, because, let's be honest, AI's Microslop is a better name for Microsoft than anything else. And I can't lie, I am just more excited to see, hell, maybe Xbox could do something that's not just going to disappoint me at the end of the day. Because, let's be honest, the reason why the Xbox division has taken so many hits is because all the money in Microsoft is going to old AI. Well, not even old AI, new AI, but terrible AI. And trust me, there's a difference between someone like Nora-sama and what Microsoft's been doing the last few years, and slowly more and more pissing off both Microsoft fans and Xbox fans in general. Sounds like Windows 11 is going to have a lot of updates coming up that are going to slowly regress the amount of in-your-face AI prompts. And it sounds like Microsoft is maybe going to stop, maybe save their urban footprint a little bit, maybe stop destroying the environment as much as they have been. And yeah, that's the thing, is Microsoft's been doing a lot of damage to its own branding because of how much they want to force this AI crap into our hands. And I'm 100% honest. I don't want it anymore. Don't get me wrong, AI can be helpful, but AI has also been pretty damning to the series overall, to Microsoft itself. Other companies have done this as well. I mean, heck, sometimes you just accidentally touch something and the AI prompt on Google wants you to look up something versus, I just want to look something up on Google. I don't need AI to tell me what I want to look for on Google. Get out of here, Google AI. I don't like you. But no, besides that, it is interesting to hear that Microsoft is seeing maybe the negative reaction to how much they've been forcing this stuff down our throats. Be interesting to see if maybe they'll actually learn, or if this is not really the sign we want it to be. Hard to say, folks. Hard to say. Second story is, now this is pretty far out, but April 10th is going to be the release of Yu-Gi-Oh's Rarity Collection 5. Now, why am I talking about this, even though there's a set before that, Mesa Mortis? Going to be an interesting set, focusing on some Duelist Kingdom stuff, some new Dark Magician and Masked Hero support, but that's not why I want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! I want to talk about a greater issue with Yu-Gi-Oh! Selling-wise. And it's the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't move. Let's be honest. I've talked to several card shops, and I've even looked at my own, I've looked into it, and yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't sell. And it's a big problem. And Konami's solution is to do something that, well, all the other card games have already done pretty long time ago, and that is, remember a simple fact, that, full art cards are a thing. And yeah, that's a big thing that old Konami is finally doing. They are putting a huge press towards making full art cards that are going to be released in this Rarity Collection. Now, it sounds like down the line that future sets are going to have ultra rare cards in the box that are going to be these these full art cards. And I really think this is being poorly optimized. First of all, a big issue. There are cards that are going to be full art exclusive, And that's really not exactly how full arts work in other card games. Other card games have full art, yes. Great example is Magic the Gathering. They have full art version of cards, but at the same time, then they have the regular versions in the same set. So you may get a full art of something, but you can also get a regular art form of the card. So this whole idea that we're trying to make full arts and exclusive cards, and you have to have this version of the card because it's the only way you can play this card, is not a good look going forward, and it's a big issue. And yeah, and the problem is Yu-Gi-Oh is already not moving off the shelves as is. Ever since the 25th anniversary has been over and all the quarter century rare stuff's been gone, the new form of rare cards in the set, Starlight Rares, just aren't enough to make fans go out and buy boxes. And let's be 100% reasonable. The reason why people go out there and buy boxes is because they want to go those chase cards, which a lot of time were quarter century rare during the 25th anniversary, but now that's not 25th anniversary. People don't really care for the Twilight Rare cards. They're not very good looking. They're kind of ugly in my own personal opinion, and they kind of just make it hard if you're looking at it at a certain angle. And let's be honest, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has also been having some dying popularity. The fact that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is essentially turned into solitaire with extra steps anymore has been a huge strike against Yu-Gi-Oh! As a franchise, and, well, it doesn't help things that it seems like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is losing its luster. I love the series and I love the history of the franchise, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself has some massive problems, and I put a lot of that blame into Konami's power creep being insane the last few years. Hand traps making the regular traps irrelevant, sets that basically play themselves because your opponent can't do a thing. It's not fun anymore, and honestly, if you're not playing full shutdown or you're not playing full built combo, your deck's going to lose, and unfortunately, just building a niche deck of cards you like isn't a thing anymore. I think it's awesome that we're still getting support for the Blue Eyes, the Dark Magicians, the Red Eyes, but it's the fact that power creep's gotten so bad that my hero combo I play currently takes about 15 minutes to get off, and that's a single turn. That shouldn't be a thing that can happen, folks. It's not good, and card shops are having issues moving. Yes, Walmart, Target, all these big stores are not going to have issue. If something doesn't sell, they can just ship it back to the warehouse and sell it dirt cheap online. These card shops aren't as fortunate. They buy 100 boxes of cards, and if they can only move 50 of those boxes of cards, that's 50 boxes of cards sitting on a shelf not moving. Mind you, these shops get so much, buy so much stock, and if they can't move it, it's not worth it. So, yeah, I think it's not a good sign. I think it's bad. It's bad for card games in general. Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokémon, used to be the two number ones, but look at it. We have to look at the big reality that right now, Pokémon, MTG, and not to mention the One Piece trading card game, they're the big popular games right now, and honestly, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just not there anymore. And I would put a lot of that blame down to the fact that Konami just made the game unplayable. They refused to bring Rush Duel to the United States, and I think that's a huge problem. And my question is, are you guys, if you're watching this part of the video, give me a comment down below. Are you interested on Yu-Gi-Oh! Having full arts? Do you like the idea that there's going to be exclusive cards that can only be the super rare version of cards, such as the Dark Magician having a new support, Blue Eyes having new support? Let me know what you guys think down below, because I think this isn't exactly the best thing for, in general, Pokemon. Or not Pokemon, but Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. I think this is going to cause a lot of damage, and I don't know if Konami is going to make this as good as they think it is. Now, if they take these cards and in future sets they reprint them to not be the full arts and they're easier to get, there's no issues. But making cards that are exclusive to these full art rarities that are going to be super hard to get, I think that's a huge mistake. And I think Konami should reconsider. Alright, now that our two minor stories are out of the way, it's time to have some more fun. First of all, let's talk about Markiplier's Iron Lung. Holy crap, this movie is out of the park and has done amazing. And that's a big thing is, they have gone out of the way to make this honestly great. And that's the big thing. So Iron Lung itself, of course, Markiplier's little baby, based off the video game, is really good. It's amazing, honestly. I've seen this movie twice during its theatrical run. And I gotta be honest, I love the movie. Now, a little bit of critical. I do think the beginning of the movie is incredibly rough to get through. It is a drag, and it takes time to get there. But when the movie gets going, it's really damn good. It's impressive that Mark did this all by himself, and it's incredible that he actually was able to fund this. Mind you, $3 million budget between paying people, getting the movie off the ground, practical effects, the amount of blood he's used. Honestly, everything in this movie has gone above and beyond. The main key and takeaway, though, is that it did cause... It made them... let's be honest. It's got Hollywood shaking in its boots, and that's fantastic. Mind you, Mark distributed this himself. There's no big studio getting to dip their hands into Mark's pockets, or everybody who helped make the movie's pockets. Mark's put this out himself. No major studios got to have a say. They haven't had to edit anything they wanted in. This is Mark's baby, and it shows. And I'll be 100% honest, fantastic. I think it's great that Mark could do this. But because of that, there's been some funny shenanigans on the part of Hollywood. Hollywood has gone out of its way to essentially play down how big this movie was really going and did. First of all, keep in mind, this movie was neck and neck with Sam Raimi's movie that was in theaters the opening weekend. And it wasn't until the last twilight hours of Sunday that Sam Raimi finally overtook Mark's movie. And mind you, not by very much. I think that says a lot. And Disney even had to throw Zootopia back in theaters to even have a chance to fight against Mark. And trust me, it didn't get very high on that list. Probably Disney also had to talk to some of its sources to try to get Mark taken off the top Billboard list. Because, of course, they can't accept that an independent person can put a movie out and it be bigger than what they did. This kind of feels like a similar thing to Expedition 33, where this small indie-made game, became the game of the year because it was just that good. Mark put out this movie, and it's fantastic. Mind you, this movie was supposed to be, and I quote, in 60 theaters, and it was supposed to only last the weekend. You know what happened? 3,000 plus theaters. Not just countrywide, worldwide. This is in different countries all over the world. Because you and I, the fans of Markiplier, fought to get this in theater, and that's fantastic. We have told Big Hollywood where to shove it, and I love it. I think it's awesome that we were able to get this movie as big as it did. And let's be honest, Hollywood is shaking in its boots. Mind you, January is a small month for the movie industry in general, but this has got to be a big sign. This has got to be the big sign telling these guys that we're not going to sit down and let you guys shovel crap into our eyes forever. Movies are expensive. Going to the movies are a lot. Having all these streaming services because, we got to put our independent series on them because we got to make it that you have to go out and watch them is expensive. And seeing Iron Lung give a middle finger to Hollywood and the movie industry in general feels really damn good. And I'm happy that we can just get this thing off the ground and make it successful. Honestly, I say great job, Mark. Congratulations. And I honestly still hope you kind of show up in the third FNAF movie. But honestly, I'd love to see if Mark could do more. Maybe. And the problem is, I fear if Mark ever goes to Hollywood and becomes an actor, because Unfortunately, after doing what he did and being such a huge upset, it could be very possible that Hollywood tries to put a leash on Mark. And I think that would be bad for him. But let's be honest. What they have done here is fantastic. And I say yet again, congratulations, Mark. You knocked it out of the park. And the second you get those Blu-rays going, bud, I'm buying myself a copy. Might not watch on the Blu-ray, but I sure as hell will buy a copy. And, wherever you got it streaming, I'll sure as hell buy a digital copy. Because I want to see this movie again. And, honestly, I want to show this to people who haven't seen the movie and just show that Mark can do acting. Speaking of studios that are a little gasping their breath, let's talk about Disney and Star Wars. If you didn't see, Disney did a little something. They fired Kathleen Kennedy. Ding dong, the witch is gone. The witch is gone. The wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is gone. Let's be honest. Kathleen Kennedy has been the worst thing to happen to Star Wars. Then Anakin Skywalker thought it was a good move to hit on someone by saying, I hate the sand. It's coarse and rough and it gets everywhere. I'm sorry, it is fantastic to hear that Kathleen Kennedy is gone. She was the wrong person to helm this franchise. She was the wrong person to be there in all the interviews, telling us what we should think and do. And let's be honest, she was the wrong person to put in charge of one of the biggest franchises, movie-wise at least, Pokemon's still bigger, of all time. But where do we even start here? Because my portion about Star Wars isn't the fact that, oh God, it's saved. My opinion is that, I don't think it's saved, actually. I think not just Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and the Willow Show, which is gone. The reality is this. Lucasfilm isn't going to recover from this. Disney can say what they want, but Star Wars is still damaged. It's damaged goods, and I don't think the people there are the right people to fix the franchise. But it's ironic, though. I'm going to quote a certain mad scientist character. If I had a nickel for every time a major leader of Disney left, I'd have 2 nickels. Which is weird, but it's weird it happens. I had 2 nickels, and that's weird it's happened twice. Yeah, let's be 100% honest. Bob Iger is leaving in March. And the ironic thing with both Disney and Disney in general, losing both its CEO and the head of Lucasfilm, is a reality that both of them have to be replaced by 2 people. 2 people to replace one role. You have a person who's in charge of the creative side and one person who's going to be in charge of the finances and running the business. Which is weird. It's really weird. This is just such a weird thing to really sit down and look into on the big picture. Now, mind you, Disney has had its issues. As soon as they started making live action Disney movies, I thought we were in for a bad time, and I was not wrong. We said goodbye to 2D animation. We said goodbye to Pixar films that were made for everybody. We said goodbye to just, in general, having a Disney branding that was was so powerful because it made its own original stuff. It parodied other franchises and books because guess what? That's what Disney could do. Its star power was so big, and you didn't need to rely on big properties. You know what the big property was? Guess what? It was, wait for it, what was it? It was Disney itself. Bob Iger, the person who's been in charge for 20 years, and the small break when he basically put the other Bob in charge, be the fall guy during COVID. Oh, I said the word you're not supposed to say on YouTube. Oh, no. Besides the point, there's one thing that Disney did. Bob Iger was a guy who bought stuff. That's what Bob Iger was. He bought big properties. He bought big stuff to put it in. He bought Star Wars. He bought Marvel. He bought, guess what? He bought Fox. Everything Disney has done has been nothing but acquiring bigger things than what they were. Look at how many things that are published by Disney that are under the Fox title still. It's the reality. Disney does not have its own stuff to make anymore, and the only thing Disney can do is make live-action versions of itself. And it's not even doing that great itself. Disney's losing money, a crap ton of money. We won't even go into Snow White and just how much of a disaster that was, or that god-awful Wish movie that came out. There's just too many examples of Disney's piss-poor movie decisions. Not to talk about the fact that not just Disney, Star Wars is losing money, Marvel has lost money because ever since the end of the third phase of Marvel, guess what? It's been losing money. People can say, oh, but all the Disney Plus, man. Disney Plus is making so much money. No, it's not. Disney Plus's numbers were being bolstered because every time that you sign up for a Verizon plan, they automatically sign you up for Disney Plus. You know what that means? Every time that a Disney Plus, you bought that and you got Disney Plus subscriptions, guess what? That was saying it was a purchase, a legitimate purchase versus what it was. Verizon shoving something in your hands you didn't want. So yeah, Disney Plus was never as big as it really was. And guess who's one of the people in charge of Disney now? The person who made the disaster of an app that it is, Disney Plus's maker. Yeah, that's good. Other guy's been in charge of the theme parks. Which, for those who don't go to the theme parks, not a big surprise. Who can afford it? Disney is out of hand. If you're like myself, you work a 9 to 5, you make decent enough money to live. Guess what? You're never going to Disney. Stay at home, Pori. Go play our Disney Dreamlight so you can kind of get an idea what the parks are like. Ha! Losers. That's Disney. That's Disney. Disney doesn't give a shit if you can afford it. And hell, you know what? Hearing how disastrous the parks have been and how much they've taken down legacy stuff that Walt himself has made, yeah, what's the point? What's the point anymore? Mind you, let's have some fun, folks. A fun reality. This is a Star Wars section. I've been just mad dunking on Bob Iger and Disney all this time. So yeah, let's get back. Now, some stuff that's been happening already with this big is Dave Filoni, the Clone War guys, is coming in and he's going to be the creative CEO of Lucasfilms. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Everyone kind of forgets that Dave Filoni became known as Darth Filoni. He joined the dark side, folks. He was a yes man to Kathleen Kennedy, and now we're praising him like, oh yeah, he's coming in, he's going to save Star Wars, man. Yeah, he's going to save Star Wars. He's going to save Star Wars. No, he's not, dudes. Dave Filoni is not the guy to save Star Wars. He's the apprentice to Kathleen Kennedy, man. Sure, he was you know what? He was the Padawan. He's literally Anakin. He's literally Anakin Skywalker. Oh my god. He was the apprentice to Obi-Wan Lucas, and now he's the apprentice. Now he's the evil Darth, backstabber for Kathleen Kennedy. He's literally Darth Vader, and not the fun parts of Darth Vader where he's fun to watch. That's the thing is, Disney is not gonna save Star Wars. It's dead. It's dead, folks, and that's the frustrating thing. The second Luke Skywalker threw Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber behind his head to subvert expectations because Ryan, I have no Dick Johnson, thought it was a good idea to subvert expectations. Disney's Star Wars has been nothing but a pissing into the wind. The only successful thing they made was Mandalorian. And guess what? They destroyed Mandalorian too because the Force is female, people. The Force is female. Cats and dogs living together. The Force is female. The Force doesn't have a gender. That's the frustrating thing about this, folks. Disney has got so bad, I want the franchise to no longer exist. I want the franchise to be left alone. I don't want them to do anymore. I don't. They have done so much to damage Star Wars. So much. But the thing is, they're trying to trick everyone. They're shutting down the Star Wars theme parks in Florida so they can sit there and put, original trilogy in the parks. And getting rid of the sequel trilogy makeup and everything. They're putting, Darth Vader here, dingle dingle, jingle jingle the keys. Don't fall for it. They're trying to trick you. They're trying to make you think they know what you like, but they're the ones who for years, they called us sexist, racist, ableist. They called us the German soldiers from World War II name. They called us those words all the time because we're racist, we're sexist, we don't want you here. They told us the Force was female so the guys would stop watching Star Wars. That 50% of the population is guys, but you want our money. And guess what? Girls didn't like Star Wars. And the ones who did like Star Wars were cool as shit. They didn't care about, there's Leia. She's a girl with power. They didn't care about that. They liked that Leia. You know what they liked? They liked lightsabers. They liked the evil, dramatic space opera that was Star Wars. They didn't care about females or power. And trying to claim there weren't black people in Star Wars is also stupid as shit. Trying to make... And that's what the thing is. Lucasfilm would make projects just so they could say, here's a strong, independent, insert thing that we're trying to prop up here kind of thing. It's a joke. It's a parody. It's a comedy. It's terrible. And it makes me just sad. Then you wonder why... And here's the thing is, we have Grogu and Mandalorian movie coming on May 22nd. My damn birthday. Damn it. How dare you, Disney, do this shit to me? And here's the thing is, did you see that terrible Budweiser parody trailer for The Mandalorian? I don't even know what this movie is. Between this trailer and the last trailer, I don't know what this movie is. It literally just looks like an extension of a Mandalorian episode. And the thing is, this is the first Star Wars we've had back in theaters, because guess what? Everything else was done so terribly that Disney couldn't afford to put any other Star Wars movie in theaters. And all they did was get rid of Kathleen Kennedy because there's people who won't see Star Wars movies because Kathleen Kennedy was in charge. The dark reality is, you can't fix Star Wars. You can't. Because the people who've been in there, who've been writing the terrible decisions, the ones that if you watch behind the scenes stuff, there's pictures of Luke Skywalker with a big red X across his face. The reason why is those people are still there. They're still there. They're not gone. Don't buy the crap that Disney's trying to sell you. And the thing is, you can't trust Dave Filoni. He literally sold out his beliefs so that his own character, Ahsoka from the Clone Wars, he did it so he could get her a show. Yeah, was that show okay? Yeah, fine. But it still had the stupid crap that makes it bad. And that's the problem is, Disney doesn't care. They don't care what you like. They want you to come back, and that's why. I literally was at the store today, and I walked by the toy aisle, and I looked in just to see. There was a single sad shelf of Star Wars stuff. A bunch of Disney's, a bunch of Acolyte dolls from the failed series it was, sitting on the shelves. Toys not moving. Star Wars lightsabers not being bought. All the toys that could have been bought if Star Wars was more popular, if it didn't piss on its fans, if it didn't make people angry, all that stuff unsold. Probably on its way out the door to go to Ollie's. Because guess what? You go to Ollie's, guess what they can't get rid of either? Star Wars. Guess what they can't sell? Disney books. Guess what does sell? Every time there's a sale on something like The Force Unleashed, because it was made during the Lucas era, lots of sales. Even if you already own it, you might buy it again just to say fuck Disney. And that's the thing is, you can get rid of the two evil people of Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy. You can say the future of Disney and Star Wars is better, but you can't say it. All the things that were supposed to happen, all the things that were promised, and Disney has done nothing with them. It's sad. It's terrible. It's sad, and just it makes me angry. Makes me so angry. Well, let's talk about something more exciting. It's the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, folks. Hey, the rest of this video is going to be Pokemon. If you don't care about Pokemon, thank you guys for watching. If you guys you want to see more Pokemon related stuff, or you want to see have any suggestions for videos down the line, leave your comments down below. Hit that like button if you like what you watched, and if you want to watch next month's podcast, hit the subscribe button. We'll be here. The rest of it will be Pokemon though. But yeah, 30 years of the franchise. 1996. I was 2 years old when Pokemon came out, and that's crazy to even think about. Pokemon is 30 years old. And of course, with that means it's time to talk about the Pokemon Presents, what we have had, and yeah. Big thing is, we've had a lot of merchandise so far told to us. The Lego Pokemon collab looks pretty interesting in general. I can't afford any of it, because I have a real job, and I don't have a lot of money. But, yeah. Lego sets look pretty neat. I wish I could afford them. It's going to suck when they put a Typhlosion set out there and I can't buy it. But they look pretty neat. We have the pinball machine. Now, let's talk about something that's interesting. The night out, trailers that's coming out, or big events that are coming out throughout the year is interesting. These in-person events that are supposed to be in for both the children and the families, and for the day one and the night out is supposed to be something more for adult-era Pokemon fans. I think that's interesting that they're both acknowledging the old and the new fans for the franchise. I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what's happening. And it'd be interesting just to see what, in general, happens with it. I think these events could be pretty good if Game Freak and the Pokemon Company can make these pretty out-of-the-park fun. And, of course, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The fact that it's really damn cold and Pokemon Go is still making you go outside. Pokemon Go Tour Kalos is coming up, and it's going to give you Shiny Diancie, which is pretty neat, pretty cool, pretty fancy. It's really cold, guys. I'm really not looking forward to it. It's been a very cold winter, and I'm not looking forward to going out there. I went out there to go get myself some, I went out there during the most recent event. Sorry, folks. Went out there to get myself some Pokemon the other day. It was a little cold out there, if you know what I mean. Now, the Go Tour event looks pretty fun. Now, a big thing that should be talked about is the fact that, because of a phishing email that happened a few years ago, we've been seeing a lot of stuff that's supposed to come out here this year, and it's making a lot of stuff not as super special secret as it should be. So, let's do a breakdown of how I think the Pokemon Presents is going to go, and talk about information in the middle. So, Pokemon Presents is going to come out. We also know, end of month, we're going to have a big hoopla. So, I'm going to cover videos, physical merchandise, and then get into video games. When it comes to physical merchandise, I imagine we're going to get more Lego, apparel, plushies, stuff. I think Lego sets will come out every couple months, and it's going to be this trio of Final Evolution starters, a popular Pokemon from that generation as an individual one, and then maybe one other set that's a building from that region. Maybe we'll get like the burnt tower or something for Johto, for example. When it comes to like clothing and all that, obviously it's gonna be a lot of 30th, Pokemon logo with 30th year, markings and all that. And of course, the trading card game is gonna probably reveal its next set that's gonna come out probably in the spring and maybe a summer set too, kind of double headed. I have a feeling like this year we're gonna be focusing a lot still on Mega Evolution just because ZA's release. Probably a few months of Mega Packs still coming out for ZA. Probably the big thing that's going to happen there. Also, I wouldn't be too shocked if we don't see some kind of mention about the big Pokemon Champions series that's happening. The big World Tournament that's going to happen this year. Wouldn't be too surprised. And that kind of combines with the videos, because I feel like we're going to get a video tour talking about the World Championship this year. Big thing is we're going to get that at the very beginning, that big collage trailer thing they do to show off the 30th year of Pokemon celebrating stuff. That's a big one. And I think we're going to get, we're also going to get some more information about the current Pokemon anime. A big thing I do foresee, though, is I think we're going to get our first Ash movie in a while. By that I mean Ash-focused movie that's talking about focusing on a certain legendary, maybe Petulant or something like that. I just feel like we're going to get a movie because it's been forever. The last movie was still the Zarude one from Pokemon Sword and Shield. I wouldn't be shocked if we get an announcement of that, or maybe a live-action movie. Or maybe we'll get that Netflix trailer for the live-action Pokemon series that's supposed to come out at some point. Now, let's get to video games, which means let's start with mobile titles. Yeah, boy! Okay, yeah, I know mobile titles. Oh god, why? So, let's talk about the two DNA ones, which is Pokemon Masters and Pokemon TCG Pocket. Pokemon, I feel like when it comes to Masters, I think we're going to hear a lot of information regarding putting ZA trainers in there. Wouldn't be a big surprise if that's the next big push, and obviously some anniversary outfits related to, probably a lot of Gen 6 characters from the original X and Y getting new outfits or designs. That wouldn't be a big shock. And then when it comes to Pokemon TCG Pocket, I have a feeling they're going to have to do something pretty drastic. According to sources online, it sounds like DNA's profits for the app and retention has been going down. And that is because of what is being labeled by most people as a way too drastic and way too hard-hitting. Basically, they put too many sets out too quickly. I mean, you have a new set every month. It's so hard to keep up, and the power creep and completing sets is just ridiculous. If you're not throwing money into it, you're not keeping up with it, and I can see why this is a drastic drop in the bucket. Terrible. Terrible. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do to retain that. We're obviously also going to be hearing about our favorite. We're going to hear about Pokemon Cafe Remix. Probably throw some Mega Pokemon in. Maybe have some fun with Mega Malamar, since that seems to be the big push this year. When it comes to Pokemon Sleep, I feel like Pokemon Sleep is probably just going to advertise some Kalos Pokemon that really celebrate, their big push there. Then, of course, Pokemon Go. Pokemon Unite and Pokemon Go are just going to add more stuff. Unite, I can't talk much about Unite because I really don't focus on that one. I just feel like they're going to add more Pokemon, maybe some that have Mega Evolutions. Heck, maybe they'll even throw Mega Lucario Z in there for fun. When it comes to Pokemon Go, obviously they'll have a push this year coming up for the Kalos Mega Evolution stuff. But I have a feeling also we're going to see a big push to start getting Paradox Pokemon, the future and past versions from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I have a feeling that's going to be a big push this year, just to kind of get more Pokemon off the list, get Pokemon Go a little closer to that 1,000 number. Alright, let's talk about ports. Nintendo Switch Online. I have a feeling if they're not launching that day, I have a feeling that they'll have us the release dates of Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness physical release. Or not physical release, the GameCube release on Switch Online. And, hopeful optimism, Generation 1 through 3 ports on GBA and GBA Online. It'd be awesome. I don't see it happening, but I'm having my wish that those are going to come out. Just do it. Give me Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon. Come on, man. We're friends, right? Okay, now the other one that's a big thing I would say is also I'd love to see Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are kind of winding down. So the big thing for them is they're right now recycling all the Mightiest Mark events every week for the starter evolutions throughout the year. I think a big thing that would eventually need to happen, though, is the Pokeball form of Pavilion having a boosted massive mass outbreak at some point, maybe around Pokemon Day. That's a dream. That's a wish. Be pretty cool if they did. Of course, I'm not sure what they're going to do for Legends EA. I have a feeling there's going to be something released on Pokemon Day for Legends EA, but I don't know what that is. Obviously, we still need to get Mega Garchomp Z, so maybe that will be the Pokemon Day release. But, there's got to be something small they'll do for the game. Maybe a new feature. And then, of course, the thing I'm uncomfortable talking about because of the amount of leaks, and that is Generation 10. That's sound like it's going to be revealed, and that's the awkward thing to talk about. Pokemon, and I quote, Winds and Waves has been data mined, and we've been seeing stuff. We have, by the sound of it, it's going to be a island jumping adventure where you go from island to island. Some islands have gyms, some don't have gyms. Some have Titan Pokemon, essentially. It sounds like you're going to go from area to area catching Pokemon. There's a vast ocean. Maybe kind of like Wind Waker. It's hard to say. And we have map data. We have islands. We have some actual areas that are developed just and to be inhabited with stuff. We have a sprite of a character from the game. We have... It makes me uncomfortable talking about this stuff because I'm like, I don't want to talk about this too much. But we're probably going to get Winds and Waves or something of the sort. But... no, that's everything I really have to talk about here, folks. My name, so guys, if you want to see any information about that later on, that will be my video I'll make after the Pokemon Presents. And, hey guys, thank you for watching this podcast. I hope to see you guys next month when I do my next podcast. Thank you so much for watching. Geek out.